Shalom, shalom. Go ahead, kick this off. Just got off the plantation. Having 20 minutes. Before I get started, I'm gonna give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Shah, Hashem, Kakadash. And as you see, man, prophecy is unfolding. You got Trump on a rampage. He already captured Maduro. Now he has his sights on Greenland, attacking Iran, attacking Mexico, and anything else he can get his little greedy hands on, man. So this man is on a rampage. The peace president is switched to a war position, man. He was talking about how much he wants the Nobel Peace Prize. So he said, the hell with it. He's gonna go with the war prize, man. And he's only gonna get you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans dragged into this World War III that's coming up. Because he got his hands, on that Russian tanker, man. That oil tanker was from the Russians. Denmark already said they're gonna attack. They're gonna shoot first and ask questions later if the Americans invade Greenland. But yet, the UK is helping. Is helping the US with the Russian oil tanker, man. So these devils all over the place. They fighting against each other, man. They say a house divided shall not stand. And they're very divided. You got the left versus the right, Republican versus Democrat, conservative versus liberal. So their house is a mess. So it can't help but fall. But let's get these precepts going. This is Second Timothy 4:2. It says, preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. So preach this word in season and out of season. Let's get this in the NLT. It says, preach the word of the Most High. Be prepared whether the time is favorable or not. So the time is not favorable right now. Because people want to hear nothing but good things. They want to hear how Trump is going to turn the economy around, make America great again. And depending on the weather, man, the elements. It's pleasant right now. But hey, when it's heat, I'm out here in the heat. When it's freezing, I'm out here in the frost, man. So you got to preach this word no matter what, week in, week out. Now, if it's out here snowing, that's a whole different story. You can do your lesson on the inside somewhere. There's a damn blizzard going on. You might have to move your camp day up or move it back or something. Or do your inside lessons. As long as you're getting the work in. But you got to be in season and out of season. Doesn't mean torrential rains, damn monsoon season, and you out here, your camera getting wet, tablet getting wet. No, you just got to watch the weather, man. As a watchman, you got to watch the weather. That's why I moved my camp day up to Thursday today night because it's supposed to be storming tomorrow evening. But you never know, man. They always get the weather wrong. So I just went ahead. Spirit had me, boosted up a day just in case. It says, patiently correct, rebuke, and encourage your people with good teaching. So it said, teach everybody. It said, no, teach your people, you know? And it says, encourage your people. So like it says, encourage your people with good teaching. So it didn't say teach everybody and encourage everyone. He said your people. So that's what I was out here to, that's what I was sent out here to do, man. Teach my people, so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, man. Teaching you that these scriptures are true and that, you are the true biblical Israelites. And we have a power, man. And he's sending his son to come and redeem his people, but not all of his people. There's a certain number of people, the elect, that he's only dealing with this time around. We're not all coming out of Babylon like we did out of Egypt. A lot of us gonna get left. Put it frankly, quite frankly, you know. So this is time to get it now. Jake seeing the prophecy unfold. Every time the prophecies start warming up, cranking up, Jake want to get back into the truth. They want to start doing videos again. They want to start going out on the highways and the byways. When things are happening, you come out. And when things aren't happening, you still come out. You get some times in this truth where there's nothing going on. As far as the prophecy go, you feel like, oh man, everything stopped. But hey, lo and behold, it cranks right back up. And now we back in that cranking back up season, man. Because we getting closer to Passover. And shit always goes down right before Passover, right after Passover. Let's go to book of Jeremiah 28. And 8 says the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So yeah, the prophets before me, which is, you can read the accounts in the Bible, man, of the prophets that mentioned. For instance, like Jeremiah, Obadiah, Isaiah, and some of us are those same men back in the reincarnation. But nevertheless, great men of our nation, prophets, they preached of the doom and gloom coming to whatever empire they was in. And fast forward to today, I'm doing the same thing, man, just like the men of old that we read so many tales about. How they was called to preach the word, man, for the nation of Israel. And not only that, and to preach the downfall of the kingdom, man. Let them know that their kingdom is about to be destroyed. So here I am telling America that your kingdom, your empire is crumbling and it's about to be destroyed. It's about to come to a close. Because once Russia up and do something about this oil tanker, you're gonna have your ass a World War III situation on your hands. And the US can't go in that alone. They can't go at it alone. They're gonna need help. They're gonna need bodies. So guess what? The draft is gonna come. They're gonna, hey, might I add, the women are included in this new draft that's coming. So men and women gonna get their ass drafted and get your ass sent to the Middle East to fight this war with Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, and all of his fellows with him, man. Russia's gonna step in and guard Iran. You're gonna have NATO in the midst. Hey, like I said, man, it's called World War, man. A lot of nations are gonna be involved in this war. Pakistan, Israel, they all gonna get their asses assembled over there into the Levant, the Middle East. They all gonna get their ass judged by Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. You know? Thus says Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, man. By the word being Yahushua, man. Countries $38, $39 trillion in debt. And so this is like the first time that an administration hasn't passed the infrastructure bill. And that's one of the key signs of your economy or your empire is done when you stop investing in infrastructure. So the writing's on the wall, and you people are just, you getting your Mardi Gras shit together. Can't wait to get on the float. I had a delivery today. I got all kind of Mardi Gras shirts all lined up and down the damn aisle, man. People still in that party spirit. They want to hear the smooth things. They don't want to hear that now America's gonna end. And they're gonna be radioactive dust. You don't want to hear about you being radioactive ash once Russia shoot those nuclear weapons on this place, man. Thermonuclear weapons, ICBMs. You don't want to hear that. Hey, it's fine. Perfectly fine. But your ass is going to experience it. But you that make it. If you even make it that far. A lot of y'all not going to make it that far. Because before that happens, we're going to have martial law declared. It's going to be martial law. The city's going to be locked down. And you already got civil war brewing up in Minnesota. They talk about deploying the troops, the National Guard, on ice, man. So everything's coming right on schedule, man. The sedition of men, it's a tax revolt being spoken about.
Yeah.
So everything is right on schedule, man. And things about to get real, or like they say, very interesting. You're gonna have shootouts in the streets of America, man. You're gonna have to shoot it out with the U.S. military. And you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans ain't ready. I can look at you and tell you ain't ready. You don't have a clue on what's coming. You don't have an idea that you are going to be the prime objective, man. for killing. Once martial law declared and you're deemed the enemy of the U.S. government, man, they're gonna come round your asses up and put you to death. And you other people outside of the nation of Israel, you're gonna have to shoot it out too, man, with the U.S. military, NATO, UN troops, mercenaries. And I see a lot of y'all, man. You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it the first wave. Normally, the first wave includes women, young children, elderly, and the sickly. There's a lot of you full body able men and women is not going to make it past the first wave, man. Too weak. I ran up on some guy, man, like 20 some years old. And he talking about looking Star Wars. That's the mindset of the American people, man. Still talking about Star Wars. And here it is, they're on TV gearing up for war in DC. Just taking shit, man. Confiscating. Taking whole countries, taking oil tankers, and getting ready to take fucking Greenland, man. And go up in Mexico and put a cartel out, supposedly. And these motherfuckers talking about Star Wars. You go on YouTube or TikTok, number buffoonery on that shit, man. Pure buffoonery. You laugh and they got skits on there, comedy skits. People doing all kind of dumb shit on there to get a laugh or two. The whole time you distracted, laughing and having a good time. You want to be entertained all the damn time. The U.S. government's gearing up for war. And they're going to put y'all asses to death. They're going to round your ass up. Put you in a concentration camp. And put this mark of the beast in your ass, man. So hey, just like the men of old, prophesying war of pestilence and evil times, man, ill times, the famine coming. You're gonna cut the food off, the water off. And we're gonna see what you really made of in that day. The Lord's gonna put you to the test. He's gonna put you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans to the test. You're gonna see how tough you are, man. He's gonna fuck you over one good last time, man. No. So let's go on. Matthew 24 at 6, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. All these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Yeah, the end is not yet. Because how you want to know that we're at the end, the tail end of this thing? When the mark of the beast get implemented and it's made mandatory. That's when you know we at the very end of this. And you're gonna have a decision to make, whether you take it or you don't. Because you're gonna go a while without eating and without having fresh water to drink, no shelter. A lot of y'all gonna be living on the streets in abandoned homes. It's not gonna be a quick one. You ain't gonna be sitting at home. You got a refrigerator full of food and freezer full of shit. Mother got deep freezers full of food. You ain't gonna be sitting in the house with your 80-inch screen TV on, got your feet up with the fireplace going. It's like, oh, do I take this MOTB? MOTB. Do I take the mark of the beast? No, they're gonna get you when you at your most vulnerable point, man. You ain't eating in days, maybe a week. You look all battered and bruised. You've been through hell trying to stay alive, fighting off vigilantes, you know, fighting off wild beasts, wild dogs in the street. You gonna get wore down, man. They're gonna wear you down. And once you at that vulnerable point, and they're gonna offer say, hey, if you want to eat, you want to drink, get clean water, you want to take a nice hot shower again, come on down. You want your money back in your bank account. Well, you won't get it in your bank account, but you'll get it in a digital wallet or something. If you want some money in your digital wallet, then come on down and get your market of peace, man. Everything will come back on for you. You be able to eat, shower, go to work. You be able to participate in society again. But little do you know, it's gonna be a different society this time. Your ass gonna be a slave. You know? You ain't gonna have these freedoms like you have now. They're gonna tell you when you can get up and when your ass can go to sleep, man. They're gonna tell you what the hell you can eat and what the hell you can't eat. You're gonna be completely a digital slave. You're gonna be scannable and surveilled. That's what people like the likes of Klaus Schwab and the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers got in store for you people. So enjoy your freedoms while you got them now, because they're gonna be going out the window very soon. They already showed you in these little animations how you're gonna get your shit delivered to you by drone. You're gonna be in these 15-minute cities, smart cities, and if you get to procreate, which I doubt, that's gonna be like a bonus, man. If you get a chance to actually have sex with a woman, or if a woman get to have sex with a man, you're gonna have to be up that food chain, man. You're gonna have to be up that ladder in order to do that. They're gonna pick who your mate is, man. You ain't gonna be able to just screw whoever you want to screw, man. You ain't gonna be able to pick your wife or your husband. The elite is gonna do that for you. People are like Elon Musk with his brain chip. So they have technocratic utopia set up for you people, man. Where they want your ass programmable, surveilled, tracked, traced, and controlled. And the whole time they got robots and cyborgs and shit, you know, policing your ass, man, and drones policing you. You know, you start complaining about how you being mistreated, you know, your social credit score go down, man. You know, you keep complaining too much, they'll come and get your ass and put you to death. There's gonna be new laws in this new world order. All that, my constitutional rights, all that shit gonna go out the window. They're gonna put a cigarette lighter to the Constitution. You know, they're gonna take that and wipe their ass with that with the Constitution. You're gonna be under the new world order. And then you're gonna see who all the sellouts were, man. All these talking heads like Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, Joe Rogan, Candace Owens, what's the other bitch name? Megan Kelly. Just to name a few. You know, the pretty popular ones I could think, Glenn Beck. You're gonna see all these sellouts, man, that sold you up the river. And by then it's gonna be too late. Yeah, they might even put them to death. Because they always put traitors to death first, man. So they might not even make it. You see what happened? You start talking a little bit of truth. You see what happened to Charlotte, you know, Kennedy, Huey P. Long, you know, Huey Long, MLK, you know, he woke up and then when he started catching feelings and talking about how he screwed up, you know, they killed his ass, man. So you got to learn. They're going to put you to death. And this time, once the new world order set up, they don't have to hide behind a damn, you know, they don't have to hide behind the scene, man. They can just have their little managers go down there. You know, they got their bots and scanning what the hell you saying. And then you're gonna have that fucking robo dog come up, pull up to your little your little cell or shack or whatever they're gonna put you in with the little robot cop and drag your ass out of that cell or your little cubicle and put you to death, man. Like Klaus Schwab said, man, you're gonna own nothing and be happy. You're gonna own fucking nothing and be happy. And he meant it. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So yeah, you got nation and kingdoms going against each other right now. You know, you got Russia, Ukraine, Iran, and Israel, America, Venezuela. You know, Venezuela, Russia, and America now. Just to name the major players, man. You know, it was big earthquake. Well, not real big, but it was like a 6 point something down in Mexico, like a week ago or something. So all this was prophesied, man. If you go on the earthquake, I forget the name of it. If you go on that earthquake page, website, it'll show you all the earthquakes that's going on in the world. So these are the birthing pains, if you will, for the one you ignorantly call Jesus shows back up. So all this is, the earth is like a woman in labor, man. Them contractions are starting up again. And it's only gonna get worse, man. It's only gonna get worse. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Yeah, all these are the beginning of sorrows. But it's been going on 2,000 years, man. But all the previous time, everybody else been wrong. Because they didn't really understand the scriptures, man. They didn't really understand the breakdown. They didn't have the spirit dealing with them. But the true man of the Lord, we know the exact times. I wouldn't say exact time. We know the exact signs to look for, man. So like we know the exact signs to look for. They was never broken down, man. But through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man, it's all been broken down and we've been given the eyesight, man. And we can tell what the hell we need to be looking for. So the vision is plain, man. Vision is plain. Now we don't know the exact time and date of when the Lord's coming back. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, we do have the ability to gauge how close he is. We have the ability to gauge it, to measure it, to measure the time. And believe me, we in that time. We are in that time. So all you naysayers, all you people laugh and scoff, talk about, oh, the Bible's not real. Man wrote the book. You about to find out the hard way. They love to use that excuse. Man wrote the book. What man didn't write? No, I, I could have sworn that man wrote all books, right? What book a man didn't write? It's kind of morons you got to deal with, man. But you can find all kind of excuses. And one thing for sure, somebody's gonna be right and somebody's gonna be wrong. And believe me, we not wrong. You know, we are not wrong, man. And I say that through, by the Spirit dealing with us, man. Not by my own. Uh, I'm not boasting in myself, man. I'm just telling you, man. The Spirit was given to us to break this down, man. and able to see it after it's been broken down by the apostles. They broke it down. The Spirit gave us the eyesight to see it. Gave the elect the eyesight to see it, man. And we see it for what it's for. It's plain unto us. Very plain that we at the It's for the revelation. The scary book, like they say. It says the second war was past, the second destruction, which is World War II, it has already passed. And behold, the third woe, the third destruction, World War III, cometh quickly. So what it was just, 50, 60 years ago, World War II had kicked off, or it ended, I mean. But guess what? That's no time in the grand scheme of things, man. Matter of fact, let's look at when did World War II end? Okay, 1945. So 81 years, man. So it's only been 81 years. And it says the third will come quickly. So that's all you've been hearing for the past couple of years now. World War III. World War III this. Russia's talking about World War III. We're in the beginning stages of it, man. You think these world leaders been saying World War III for nothing? You think they're just using that term loosely just to be saying it? No, they've been acclimating your asses the whole time. But you don't believe it, though, you just think they just up there talking. A lot of y'all don't even pay attention to politics, man. You too busy watching that goofy ass nigga, what's his name? I Speed or I Show, whatever that nigga name is. Too busy watching him. You know? Or watching Mr. Beast. You know? or whatever nobody on YouTube, so-called influencer. You know? So you've been watching these people all the time being distracted. So your ass is gonna get shipped off into this World War III. You're gonna get your papers in the mail. They're gonna tell your ass to report to such and such. Men and women. So men, hang on, man. Vagina's kind of high right now. It's kind of expensive. Them prices gonna come crashing down once they get them draft orders. Vagina's gonna be rock bottom prices soon. They're gonna be trying to do anything to not go to that war, man. They're gonna willing to do anything or anybody, man, to get knocked up. So hold the line, man. Hold the line. No? You're gonna have people coming up to you at work, man. They say, hey, man, I know you're single or I know you're married, but and can you please knock my daughter up, man. Chicks gonna be coming up, running up to you, man. You know, propositioning you, talking about, if you knock me up, get me pregnant. I ain't got to go to the war. It's gonna be some wild shit going on. These women gonna get desperate. Once some papers hit that mailbox, they ride around with their head in the air now, man. But their ass is gonna be crying when they see them draft orders, them draft papers come down. You know, they're gonna be throwing that pussy, man. And like I said, it's gonna be rock bottom prices, bargain prices, man. It's like I said, it was a steal. Hey, shit, it's gonna be for free, man. They're gonna just say, just knock me up, so I ain't got to go. I'm gonna say, whoa, 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 baby, not that easy. It ain't gonna be that easy, sweetie, with me. You gotta pay the, you gotta pay the toll. You know, you gotta give me some, you gotta give me some bread. You gotta get your money up, and maybe we can talk then. Maybe we can talk. Go to Isaiah 29:6. It says, "Thou shalt be visited by Yahweh of hosts of armies with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire." So yeah, your ass is gonna be visited, man, with thunder and earthquake, man, and that great noise, which is talking about the thermonuclear ICBM missiles that Russia's gonna shoot on this place and make it desolate, turn this place into a damn desert. With intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, which are thermonuclear, and might I add, hypersonic, is where the Lord is gonna visit this place. He's gonna use Russia and whoever got nukes to visit this place, man, and have that devouring flame. Because scripture speak about how this fire is going to be fanned by the angels, man. He's going to send on the Babylon, known as America. He's going to send fanners here, man, to keep that fire hot. Like when you're grilling, the coals start going down, so you start fanning it to make that heat, make those coals back red again. That's what the Most High going to do, man. He's going to have these angels fanning the flames. you know, you're going to be a pile of ashes, G. You so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, and everybody else that fought against Jerusalem, by Jerusalem being a people first before it took place, your ass is gonna feel the heat, and that's just putting it lightly. Your ass is gonna be, you know, uh, like the Most High say, you're gonna be beaten in the powder, man. You're gonna beat his enemies in the powder. you know, so that's how much the Most High is upset especially with his people. Because you the last one should be against the Most High. All he done for us, man. Y'all some ungrateful fucks, man. So when you got a woman cheating on you, just doing whatever she want to do, you know that that enrages a man. So us going off serving other powers, or not even serving anything, just turn your back absolutely on the Most High. He's enraged, man. He's pissed. So everybody outside the elect in America, Babylon, he's gonna visit you, man. He is going to visit you and put you out of your misery. You're gonna be put out of your misery, Jake. And then the Lord has done you some good, man. Once he kills you and puts you to death, he's done you good. Because hey, you're gonna be in your right mind. You're gonna come back in the kingdom. You're gonna have to come back with you're gonna come back reincarnated. You're gonna come through the loins of men. You're gonna have to be born again, man. And then when you come back through the legs of a woman, through birth, and not a damn stork, you're gonna be in your right mind. We all gonna be in our right mind. There'll be no more going off, no more going in captivity, and no more suffering, man. We're gonna actually live life. Now we ain't experiencing living life right now. This ain't living. You just survive it now. You just get by right now. We're gonna experience life in the kingdom, man. And might I add, it's gonna be on earth. It ain't gonna be in the clouds like these dummies say. We ain't gonna be like Mario riding around in clouds and shit. We're gonna be right here on the earth, living it up. Streets of gold, man. Every day's like a Earth, Wind, and Fire concert. Every day. 6 days a week. We gotta rest on the Shabbat, man, the Sabbath. But them 6 days, and we're gonna have some months where it's a double Sabbath, back to back. But them days we ain't got the Shabbat or the Sabbath, it's gonna be going down, man. It's gonna be going down. And Jake wanna stay here, fucking concrete, trash all over the place, broken that shit, pipes hanging out, hydrants leaking water all over the place. Y'all want to stay here in this shit. Oh, demons stirring up. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. I'm gonna get out of here. Demons stirring up. Time to go. But our people, man, we've been beaten down so low. We think this is all this is life, man. We've been on the bottom so long. That's all we know is the bottom. But most side gonna flip that, man. We're gonna be on the top, man, and we're gonna be on top forever. And everybody else who ain't on this sun gonna be beneath us forever, man. You're never gonna rise above us again, man. You know, you're gonna be our slaves for 1,000 years, but technically, you always gonna be our slaves, man. Because hey, you belong to Yahweh Shah, man, and we joint heirs with him. So whatever he get, we get it too. So you always gonna be property of ours, man. You always gonna be our slaves, always. Right? So hey, we gotta just do our bid right now, man. But the bid is almost up. We about to get sent home, man. Yahweh Shah about to come bail our asses out, man, and take our ass back to Israel, man. You know, and knock this so-called white man out of power, man. And then we gonna be free. That's right. Inside joke. Then we gonna be free. Yeah. Inside joke. Cut this cracker head clean off, man. When he come back and set us free. And we're gonna love every moment of it, man. We finally gonna be out of the clutches of the so-called white man. He ain't gonna be able to rule the earth like he doing now, man. And just go take your damn country, kidnap you out of your damn bed, man. The Lord's gonna take all that power away from him, man. Right now, the ball's still in his court. The Lord still got him ruling. But he's gonna take all that from his ass, man. And we're gonna take that place. We are going to rule forever. Scriptures speak about how we're gonna be kings and priests, man. They like to say, make fun talking about we was kings and shit. Well, bitches, we are kings, man. And the top that, we're gonna be gods on the earth, man. We're gonna get that God status back. Can't die, can't get sick. You mother got a lot to pay for, man. A lot. You want to cup up them riches, man. We need all that gold and that silver back, man, that you done stole throughout the centuries, man. All that free labor you got off the so-called Negroes during slavery, man. We gonna get them reparations back, man, and then some. We gonna get them motherfucking reparations. We get your ass in chains. We don't want your money. We want your ass, man. We gonna get free labor out of you, building our fucking palaces. Laying down them damn bricks. And hey, man, we just gonna sit back and praise you. How about Shimmy Shah, man? And so like, hey, he said he was gonna do that shit, man. He wrote it in the book. He was gonna do it, and he did it. you know, like, didn't we tell you he said he was gonna do that shit? So hey man, we going full steam ahead into some very interesting times, man. We almost out of here, and it's beautiful to see. I think I spoke on that last week, where hey, they already implementing famine of the word. They it's some things. Well, they already running the so-called Christians off the block. They can't preach in certain places. So hey, man, when that word closes up, all hell gonna break loose, man. And I'm all for it, all for it. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, man, because I gotta get up and go to the plantation, man. I'm still in slavery, man. I'm still in hell, so I can't be out here all day. But before I get out of here, man, give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, our Shah, Hashem, Kakadash. Shalom. Let's get out of here. That damn demon up there screaming